Yo guys, welcome back to my channel. You're here at Stay Sleep with Kit, and today ladies, I'm going to tell you how banging on the first date is killing your chances of finding love. Let's get it. Banging on the first date. So, you've dated. You've dated guys from yonder high and low, and a girl can fulfill her sexual desires if she wants to which there's nothing wrong with that. Sexual promiscuity is common nowadays. However, lasting love, not so much. These guys you've dated, you've been sexual with them from early on. Heck, you might have had sex with them and then started dating them, which is more common than you think. Now, why would you do this? Well, first off, it's 2019 and it's no one's business who, what, or how you have sex with whomever. And second, you might want to know if you're sexually compatible. See, there's nothing wrong with doing what you're doing. However, you do not use fish bait to catch a shark. You do not be sexually promiscuous if you want to find love. Is it possible that once in a blue moon, occasionally a shark might nibble on the fish bait? Of course. It's possible. But any good fisherman knows that's not how you catch the prize. So, you start dating this guy and you guys are banging. A lot. All the time. I mean, you cannot go a few nights without keeping your hands off each other. Then after several weeks, he loses interest. He's not making as much effort as he used to, he's not texting you as much, not responding as promptly. Now some of you might think,
well, if a guy loses interest because the mystery is gone, then he's not the person I want to be with.
And I completely agree with you. But what that means is that the foundation of the relationship has to be about the companionship and not about the physical ship. You know what I mean? Because in any long-term relationship, the sex gets less exciting. Not that it becomes any less good. In fact, it should get better at first because you really start to learn what each other like and how to make each other's bodies, you know, tick. But it becomes less spontaneous, less mysterious, and you get used to each other. Now, if the foundation of the relationship is a sexual one, when things start to calm down in that area, the core of your relationship starts to crumble. That's why a lot of relationships nowadays do not last long at all, because the foundation is built upon sexual lust and desire. It's never gonna last like that. This is also why rebound relationships hardly work. Now, to you, having sex early on might not mean that the foundation of the relationship starts like that. But to a guy, it does. Think. Let's say you're telling your friends about this really amazing first date that you had with this guy. You're telling them about how you had deep chats, you have a lot of the same values, you've got similar goals in life. You're telling your friends about how you really felt you had a connection with him. Then you tell them that you had sex at the end of the night and then go into extensive details about that. Don't lie to me, ladies, we both know you did. Now imagine a guy talking to his guy mates about the exact same date. Do you know how that goes? So I went on a date with this girl, right? We banged. It was awesome. He ain't focused on telling them what your life goals are. He's only talking about the physical. Now that's not to say that guys can't focus on the emotional, but guys are more naturally inclined to focus on the physical and not pay much attention to the emotional. The physical is the highlight. Even the nicest of guys focus on the physical, if you give it to them. Now that might be in a way of,
wow, I found a girl who will actually have sex with me. I'm gonna hold on to her.
do you really want that to be the reason he holds on to you? Don't give him a physical to talk about, because then he has to focus on the emotional, at least on the first date. Because no matter what kind of connection you have at the dinner table, if you have sex, for him, the foundation of the relationship is going to be a physical one. And then when the physical becomes less exciting, as it always does, the foundation sinks through. Most relationships fail because you've got the wrong foundation. Now, I'm not saying you should go cold turkey and be like,
no sex until marriage.
Because you have needs, girl, and so does he. But the best way is as your emotional connection with this person develops, then so does the physical. Don't you find it interesting that as we've become more sexually promiscuous as a society, the length of relationships has dropped dramatically? And not just relationships, but marriage too. Here's how a guy's brain works when it comes to committing sex to one girl. Thank you, Steve Harvey, for this analogy. Let's say you've got a garden, and any guy you let into your garden is you letting the guy into you and your life. That came out weird. Anyway, with this garden, you're not gonna let just anyone into it, right? So you put a fence around it, but you build the fence low. A guy hops over the fence and into your garden. Great! You've got a fella who's come to you and he's there for you to enjoy. Now, like any garden, there's gonna be some maintenance work. Trim the hedges, water the plants, pull out the weeds. Once he starts seeing that he has to make an effort, do you know what happens? That. He skips right back out of your garden. Because it was easy for him to get in, he thinks he can hop back whenever he wants. Now imagine if your fence was 7 feet high. Not so high that a guy thinks he can't climb it, but high enough that it's gonna take quite a bit of effort. Do you know what he then thinks when it comes to maintenance? Nah, I worked hard to get in here, I'm gonna work on it. What I'm saying, ladies, is because of the way men think, you know, that nature inclined them to want to spread their seed and oats as far and as wide as possible. You need to set the pace as to when and how the physical intimacy develops. And another truth about this, when and if you guys go through a rough patch, which is inevitable in every relationship because it makes you grow as a union, he'd never doubt you about cheating on him. Because he'll think, well, I know how long it took us to get to that physical level, so there's no way she'd do that with some random guy. Unless, you know, it's Jason Momoa, in which case he might start crying. And in regards to sexual compatibility, anyone can become good at sex. It just takes some time, some open-mindedness, and some patience. You think porn stars have great sex because they're all compatible? Come on, you know better than that. Have you ever started having sex with a guy from the first date? And if you have, are you guys in a relationship? How did it turn out for you? If you took something from this video, don't forget to hit that like button, I'd really appreciate it. I have to tell you that, it's in the YouTube handbook. Thanks for tuning in, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, I'll make sure to respond to it if you do, and as always, keep it slick.
Pow.